All right. So here we are. Let's say, remember last week I was talking to, was it not Steven? It was Matt. He had a conversation. Oh, we were just talking that let's say you are having a one-on-one conversation with a private money lender. You got to the end of your pitch deck. What should happen then, right? You have to be extremely sure and you have to be the driver. If you get to that point and there's a silence, you are in big trouble because you're giving wrong messages and you don't know what needs to happen. You need to be absolutely sure. Now, I know I'm not saying that what happens is in your control. All I'm saying is you need to know what you need to say. You need to be the driver. All right. So, what could happen when you get to the end of the conversation of your pitch deck? So, this is not your big presentation to a group. This is not anything like that. This is someone you already had conversations with. So, it's not a level one stuff, which means they don't know who you are, right? You've already gone through that. They've said, oh, yeah, this sounds interesting. Now you went through your level two pitch deck, which is the one I've shared with you, which you should have by now, and you can tweak it, but it should be ready. So you've gone through every single detail, frequently asked questions. You've done your job. Now you're at the end, right? They have to use, somebody has to make a decision whether they are going to move forward, right? So what can happen? If it's a yes, it's a very simple process.
Are you gonna just ask them? You want to start now? Like, how do you pose that question at the end of
yeah,
the?
yeah. I'll do that. Let me
All
go
right,
through.
sorry. Keep going.
No worries, no worries. No, absolutely keep asking because when you ask, I know what's in your mind, and that will help me also address that. So don't worry. Absolutely say out loud when right in the middle. It's no problem. But I will address that. So if they say yes, we go through the onboarding process, and I have a full instructions on that. Right. I'm just talking about that moment, right? And then we'll talk about what do you say, or they'll say no. They will actually come out and say, oh, this doesn't sound, this is something I want to do, or whatever. Like it's a hard no. It's not like, oh, maybe not. It's a hard no. Or they ask or they say something that you know is not going to work with you. So you have to make a decision and you don't want to try to convince them. All I do is when I hear a hard no and they say something that I know is never going to work with me, because that will happen. It's unrealistic for you to think that, oh, you're going to try to convert somebody from saying no to yes, especially if they use the word no because they've thought about it and they really decided this is not. Maybe they'll say, oh, I would never um, tie my money for 5 years. Even if you offer the 1 year term, they say, well, then 12% is just not going to make it for me. I'm making 20% on doing this fix and flip. What do you say to that? You don't want to try to convince you. You're not going to change your model. So it's a hard no in that sense, right? So all you can do is you're going to just add notes. You're going to thank them for their time and you end the call. So that's easy, right? No problem. Here's the problem. You have people who are undecided, right? You're not sure. You made the page and you come to a conclusion and you're getting this vibe that I'm not sure if you're getting to where we need to. They're asking questions and they're sounding undecided. You'll sense it. It's very clear. You will add notes to your CRM, but here's the thing. You have to have a follow-up process in your CRM that follows up with these people. And most importantly, they need to be kept in the loop. Because what happens is if you just leave them as is, what's going to happen is, of course, you won't ever hear back from them. I've had many people who actually were undecided. They were on my database. They saw me again in another presentation at another custodian just because they were on my database. They were hearing that I'm going to be appearing on another event. They did that event. Something clicked, something changed, and they came back. All right. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this more is because this is your vast majority of when you come to the end, that's where they end up. You will most likely not get not a hard nose, because if you've done your work right and you get them on the call, you have sifted through those people, and they're not going to be one of those. But then you will come across a lot of undecided. All right. So I'm going to open this question to you. Well, okay. So this means that ensure that you have a good follow-up system in place for these prospects. All right. Now, my question to you is why, but you can actually decrease the number of undecided prospects when you get to the end of your one-on-one presentation. Do you want to guess how you can do that? Anyone?
You just start the beginning onboarding process anyway, like, you know, be you.
I love it. Yeah. I think in sales it's called a confirm close or something like that, right? It's like you just assume that they're going to close.
Yeah, you say, okay, so, you know, we send you all the paperwork, right?
I'm sending it to you. Oh, sorry, it's already on. FedEx is gone. So make
Yeah.
sure you get it. And then look really disappointed when they say, "Oh, I don't want to do." I'm sorry, I already spent $30 on the FedEx. I love that. That's yeah. But what's going to happen is the reality is, you will have a mixed bag. You will have people who are not going to be undecided, and so. But there's something you can do that is under your control that will ensure that you minimize the undecided one. Guess another guess. Teresa, you want to try? I think she's trying to unmute. Yeah, there you go.
I guess I was just thinking that through the whole process that you're going to be answering so many questions. So we're
Uh-huh.
still saying you've answered multiple questions and they're coming to an undecisive. I guess
Very
I
good.
just
Very
run
good.
out.
Yes, you got it. That's what I was getting to. What it comes down to is your pitch deck, your presentation. If you do a terrible job, not only will they have a lot of questions, and when you try to answer those questions, because remember what's going to happen is your pitch deck is well thought of, right? You know it, you can answer the question. If you don't include them in the pitch deck, and you're trying to answer questions that are coming up, they're going to be harder for you to address, right? And sometimes it just becomes they're not going to be satisfied, or they're going to think, well, I'm not really sure. But if you do a really, really good job so here's the another thing about the presentation. I do this all the time. Number one, your pitch deck, this is obvious. Your pitch deck has to be very powerful. You actually now have the actual pitch deck I use, and you know that it works. So it's not that it's a poor, you just have to tweak it to your liking. But number two, this is important. I do this all the time. Research your prospect before you get on the call. So don't show up on the call without knowing who they are. You will be embarrassed because let's say you got on the call, they only gave you two pieces of information. Oh, yeah, I'm in real estate. And you find out this person has a commercial real estate empire. You're going to treat that person very different. Your conversation would be very, I mean, you have to show respect, right? Based on that. Oh, I hear that you already have a portfolio. Wow, that's great. And that also helps you understand, well, why would they be considering private money lending? So just simple. I'm not saying that do a deep research. Just Google search, see what you can find on there. If there is a Facebook page, LinkedIn is great, especially if they are working, if they have W-2 job. Even people who don't have W-2 job like me, I have a LinkedIn profile, active profile, and I actively use it, right? So this is a good way to gather just basic information. What are they doing, especially in terms of real estate or investments? You want to know before you get on the call. So you're prepared. Number three, this is one of the most important thing. Rehearse. Do not open your presentation if you don't know what's on the first slide, next slide, and so on. I'm doing this presentation. Not only I did create every single page, I did rehearse it at least once before I do this. I always do that because when you are not sure, well, guess what? Your participant can figure it out that you have this screen and you're actually literally reading and you're kind of stuck because maybe you're reading it for the first time. So you don't want that, right? So again, if you have a powerful pitch deck, you research your prospect and you rehearse your presentation and you know your stuff, you're just going to minimize that undecided people. Okay? So let's go back to your question, Mikhail. Your question, go ahead and say that again so I can go back and address it.
Yeah, my question was if you were, you know, at the end of the presentation, right? How do you say, you know, how do you introduce the next step? Like you say, okay, so what do you like to do? Do you like to start the onboarding process? How how do you pose that question, right?
Very good. So first, I would suggest watch some of my
Yeah.
private
Yeah.
money lender.
Right.
They're all not going to be the same, because what's happening is by the time we get to the end of the conversation, I'm picking up these signals from them, and most of the time it's the yes. And I say something, they are nodding their head. It's those visual cues you're getting. And I've learned two things that are very important. One is about how does it sound like? You will get a good feel. And the most important one is how does it feel like? And whatever they say based on that is a really, really good clue for you. So I usually will ask them, well, how does it sound like, or what do you think?
Right.
And again, I'm not. That doesn't mean they're gonna join. That's when I drop the bomb. When I tell them that, oh, so they tell me they're ready to join. That's when I tell them that, okay, well, great. Then in about 24 hours, I will follow up with the email, let you know if I can let you join the program. And if I do, I'll let you know the next steps.
Okay, so you actually never tell them, okay, you can join the program. You always tell them, oh, I gotta think about it.
Well, I don't say it that way.
Well, think about it, but you say, I'll let you know. Yeah.
So I'll tell you why I do it this way. So like I'm doing a presentation tomorrow. So I don't know if you registered for it, this workshop that I'm doing for American IRA. It's on LinkedIn. You can just go on my LinkedIn and register. So I'm doing that live. You will see how I do it. When I go to the end, I will say I can only accept certain number, right? So people are coming into my one-on-one, literally while I'm on that, I'm seeing that people are setting up appointments with me on my Calendly, right? So they know that I did this presentation, public presentation. So when they're on the call with me, they know they're not the only one. At least that's what my impression is. So I tell them, look, I am also talking. It's like when you're doing an interview, right? And you're applied for a job, they know that there are other applicants. All right. And honestly, I also, especially in a case where I'm not 100% sure, I'm very, very honest. And I tell them, look, I do have other private money lenders. And so I'm going to see, who is the best match. And, if I feel that this is good, I'll send you a confirmation. Sometimes on the call, I'll give them that. I'll tell them, look, it sounds like, you might be a good fit. But let me see, within 24 hours, you'll hear from me and you'll get that information.
Which makes total sense, right? If you're doing like a big seminar, webinar, right, with a lot of people, right? But if you do a one-on-one presentation, right, you almost think about that
Yes, let's talk about that. What do you think you can say which is similar in that concept, but not using the idea of other applicants? You could just say that, I don't want you to lie, but if you're active and you're talking to other people, you could say that I am speaking to some other prospects as well. And be honest. And let me tell you this. Okay. This is the truth. This is the real truth. Okay. Because we are in a closed group, I can share this with you. When I get a property, I have two properties under contract right now. All right. One investor has already picked up.
Okay.
The other one, I still have it. The investors have not picked up. It's on my portal right now.
Okay.
Well, what's going to happen if it doesn't sell? Then I may have to wholesale it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what if I have two investors who suddenly say, I need a property and I don't have any property?
Right.
What I'm talking about is disconnect between the deal flow and the investors. So think about it. If you accept every investor and you cannot deploy their funds, you have another kind of a problem, right? It's your job to explain that to them in a way that you're in the driving seat. So the way I explain it is the truth, is that I control my deal flow and my investors, how much I can deploy. If I get too many people in my system and I don't have enough deals, I cannot deploy them. So I have to be very choosy. There's nothing wrong with that. You could say that, I have to be very choosy, unfortunately. But from the sound of it, it sounds like you might be a good fit. But you know what? Give me 24 hours and I'll let you know. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
You don't have to lie, but
it makes sense.
That's the truth, right? That's how you go. Your system is going to be set up like you're not a big wholesaler with 100 deals. That's not it, right? It's the same thing. You do not have 100 private money lenders. You are balancing it out, right? So you cannot do that.
Yeah.
So and just watch my videos. As you can see, you will see some of them, they're really on the dot. Some of them, they're not. And towards the end, I'm kind of based on what I'm getting, I'm making decisions. So there's no right or wrong answer per se in that sense. Hopefully that helped.
Okay.
All right. So now the onboarding process. So again, we went back on the Zoom call. They said, yeah, this sounds really, really good. So I tell them I decide whether I can accept them in the program within email via 24 hours. All right. And like I said, I explained to them why I have that process in place. And most of them have no problem with that. They understand that, and there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah. So this one is, I've done this, by the way, for your information. You may think I accept everyone who comes in. I have said no to some people because uh, during the call, they have the money, they're ready to go, but they're like asking me questions like, "Oh, I want to see the deal," or "I want to see the appraisal," or I want to do." There's a lot of I and a lot of control, and even during the conversation, I see a lot of control, and a lot of things they're saying is contradictory to my system. I can sense it's not going to work. You'll come across these people, trust me. You'll have a feeling of that. And the best way is a very soft way of saying, I'm sorry, unfortunately, at this time, I cannot accept you in the program. In the future, if you're interested, you can join. And I've had people. So for one other reason for saying no is someone who says they want to join your program, but they don't have the money ready yet. Why would you let them join the program? Do you see what I'm saying? So that's an easy no. Not because they're not interested, or they just don't have the money ready yet. I mean, what are you going to do? Accept them in the program and then they're just going to hang out? And that's what the problem is. That's what a vast majority of people in our school community who are saying, "Oh, I found a private money lender." They have no verification. They have no idea the person has the money. I mean, just because they say they have money doesn't mean anything, right? Because that's one of the first thing I do when I do accept them in the program is I look for proof of fund in writing, and I ask for a driver's license, which is actually just for fun. No, I'm kidding. The idea is you want to know who they are. You want to know their legal name. You want to know who you're working with, right? So those two pieces of information will get me the little bit of more information than just the person off the street. Make sense?
Yeah. So I mean, another question. So let's say
Yeah.
you have someone that say, you like him, they want to join, but you don't have a property at the moment, right? You
Mhm.
just don't have it. What do you do? What do you tell them? Like, hang on, or
Yeah, well, so here's the benefit of this is I'm very honest and transparent. I tell them, look, I tell them this is the words I use. I'm not a big player. Because a lot of time, a lot of companies that show up on these custodian presentation, they're like billion-dollar companies and they've got staff. So I tell them that as a benefit to them, that I'm a small operation, you have direct access with me. But the downside is the deal flow is not like hundreds and thousands of deals.
right?
And when they actually have access to the portal, they can see how many deals there are. I've had no deals for several months. That happens, because I reach out to my private money lenders and some of their funds are stuck. Some are saying, "Oh, I still have to wait." So I don't need to buy. I'm not in a hurry. I also wait. So this month, I had a new private money lender who was interested, so I got him a deal. And another property just came in, but there's somebody else already interested in buying it from me. So I don't know. I have it, and I'm doing a presentation tomorrow. If I sign up new private money lenders, and if they're ready to go, maybe I can assign that to them. So that's a very good question, and that is a challenge that you will come across. It's a matter of how you handle it, how you work it, and you can do it. Just don't portray yourself as somebody big, because then that you're going to be sorry,
Yeah,
because then they're going to come to you and say, well, I thought you were,
yeah,
somebody asked me, I tell them. And they ask me, oh, how many properties you have? Obviously, I don't tell them exact number. I tell them the asset valuation. I said, we have about $1 million asset under management, AUM. That's what the term used in the industry. And in terms of how many people you are, I say, I have a very lean. I work by myself. I have a VA that works for me, and then all other duties I hire outside contractors. I tell them, real estate agents, people who do inspections, people do all. We just subcontract them. Just be honest, because
yeah,
at some point it's going to come back to you. So,
yeah.
got it? Okay.
Yep.
Uh, Cool. So, yeah. So here's the thing about the no people. The no people, like I said, if there is a reason why you feel at that time it's no, it's fine. Sometimes they don't have the money right now, and again, you would put them in the CRM, and maybe at some point, if they're interested in joining, they can come back. But you do have to, I call it keeping your house clean. By now, I could have literally dozens and dozens of more private money lenders in my database that I decided not to because all they would have been with somebody who has access to the portal, and they're not doing anything. In fact, I actually have a kind of a rule that I tell them. This is one of the things I tell my private money lenders when I bring them in is you're under no obligation once you are in our system to invest in a deal. However, I do want to let you know that from time to time, we do remove investors from our portal who have been inactive for an extended period of time. Do you see what I'm saying? And what that means is I'm warning them, look, I mean, at some point you join this because you want to invest, and I'd like you to join this because I want you to invest. I'm not charging you any fee, but one of the responsibility that you have, and I'll show you that email that says that I expect you at some point to, invest in our opportunity. So it's a very subtle way of telling them, look, if you're just here for fun, then I'm sorry, I may have to remove you. So I have removed at least 2 or 3 investors because of that. Like they didn't invest in anything; they're just watching and watching. And I send them Prime Bid. I'm going to talk about Prime Bid in a moment as well. So yeah, keep the people who are on the know, add them to your CRM, keep them in your email list. Um, Now they said yes, and I decide whether I want to accept you in the so now we have someone that I've told them, okay, we love to invite you. This is the email. Now we're going to do our onboarding process. Here's my onboarding process. Welcome email. This is the welcome email. I'll read it out to you. Hi, Larry. I would like to welcome you to as a private money lender on passive income portfolio via real estate investment. This is the name I have, so I don't say slow flips, right? So you can make up your own branding name. Program. Below are the login credentials to your password protected private lender section on our website. Please use the credentials to log in and go through the 3 tutorial videos. Right on that page, I just made 3 videos just to show them how to use it. Now listen to this. These are the instructions. Okay, this is part of the onboarding process. While there is no cost of joining and or ongoing charges for our program, access to our portal comes with some responsibilities. Number one, while you're not expected to commit to most deals, we hope you will review all or most deals that are added in our system. Feel free to download property reports and ask questions. This tells us that you are active in our system. We do remove inactive lenders from our system from time to time. Number two, each property listed in our system has a close date. Once a private lender commits to a loan, tutorial video will show you how. They are expected to abide by the deadline and close on those loans as scheduled. Number three, we are expanding our portal and will soon invite select investors. This is something that I had decided early, but I've never done. I've tried to do it, it didn't work, which means I was going to bring in outside investors who are also going to be doing the same thing, but they'll be in my portal. So I haven't done that yet. Finally, you now have access as a private lender portal, and you are a capital partner with Dream Prime Homes LLC. Below is your password. So here's the password, right? So this is the welcome email that goes out. You add them to your CRM, obviously, as a PML, and I'm using Bodio, and all it is, it's a basic kind of a information that I have about them, and it adds them in the. I do add how much funds they have, so I know how much money is available. And in most cases, I have actually a PDF document that shows how much funds they have available. All right, now we want to assess whether the PML is ready to invest right away, which means cash. If it's with self-directed IRA, is it cash, cash, cash? Not like, oh, I'll have it in a week, I'll have it in 2, I have to do this, that will happen. So while you went through this process, they were ready, but now I need to know, are you ready right now? Right? So at this stage, you need to know at this point. So if it is yes, there's no misunderstanding, I would like it in writing. So instead of a phone call, I do it via email. Hey, Larry, just confirming, you're ready to go. If I have a property under contract, would you be able to close in 2 weeks? If you use that verbiage, you're putting in their mind also that, oh, in 2 weeks, I have to actually pay for it. Do you see what I'm saying? And somebody who's not ready will tell you right up the top, oh, I'm sorry, I have to actually move my fund, blah, 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 right? And if it has to do that, then they're not ready right now. You need to confirm at this stage, you need to know. Find out what needs to be done. You have to be the if something you can do to assist with the process. Like in some cases, if it's let's say they have to do a rollover, they have money. It might take a couple of weeks, but you're the one going to help them do that. So once then your PML is now ready with cash available, then you're at the yes. Now you have someone who has cash ready to go. Now is the time you need that property. Do you see that all other times you didn't necessarily need the property? Now you need the property. So now you need to find a property ASAP. Now, when I say ASAP, it doesn't mean like within 24 hours. That's why you got to be marketing all the time. You should be looking all the time. You should be making contacts all the time. You can buy from wholesalers. You can do a lot of different things. Finding property, as you know, is not that hard. It's just timing is something that you got to work. All right. This is important also. Let's say if an investor has said, I'm ready to go right now, and you haven't done anything for a month or 2 months, that's a bad sign for you, and you're not communicating with them. Because at the end, think about it, the reason why they joined your program is they want to have income on their cash. Now they have cash sitting, and it's 2 months, and they're getting uneasy about it. So it's your job to keep them posted. Hey, sorry, I just had a property under contract, but it fell through. I'm working on this other one. And so just because of that communication, they'll know that you're on the case. Do you see what I'm saying? So once you do this a couple of times, you'll realize it's really easy. You can either text them this, just short. Hey, just wanting to let you know, I know it's been a couple of weeks. I want to let you know I'm working on a deal right now, so that way you just keep them on in the loop. Now, when a property is under contract, this is what I do. I will add it to the portal, and then with all the information. And in this case, if that private money lender has been waiting for so long, I will offer it to them as a prime bid opportunity. I explained to you what prime bid opportunity was, and I will explain it again. So first, before either way, you'll have to add it to the portal. Now, all of you do not need a portal. Let me repeat that over and over again. Just because I have a portal, just because I do it like this, it's one more layer. It's a little bit harder to do. In your case, you don't have to do any of this. All right. You need to start building your way towards this, but you don't have to. You're just going to make it harder for your private money lender. You can just email them the information. You can just send them the pictures however they want. You can put it on a G Drive. By the way, G Drive is so cheap. I couldn't imagine for years. I just was so frustrated. Putting stuff here, putting stuff there. I mean, for like $4 or $5 a month or something, you can get 1 terabyte, and just put everything there, send them a link. That's really the easy way. Your walkthrough videos and your pictures. Your investor just looks at them, email them. So I'm trying to tell you is just because I'm showing you like this doesn't mean you have to have a portal, okay? I'm just very organized. I like to do it this way because it also portrays that you have things under control. You know how you're doing it, and it's very streamlined. So what I do is I add the property, I add the pictures to the website. I create the property report, which I showed you how to do that, and everything is on the website. Now you have two choices. You can offer this to all your investors at the same time, or the one who has been waiting, you can do a prime bid. And if you remember, prime bid is like a first dibs, right? While all your investors can see the properties there, not everyone can bid on the property or buy that property. Only the person that you're offering it to. This is how the prime bid works. I actually did a separate video where I showed you a step-by-step how I do the prime bid. Okay, so that will be when you see this video recording in school, that would be an additional video that you can watch. It'll show you step-by-step how I do it. So this is how the prime bid opportunity works. This is the email I sent. Dear Leslie, we are pleased to inform you that you have a prime bid opportunity. This word prime bid, you can make up your own. I use PrimeBid is because my name of my company is Dream Prime Homes. So get it, PrimeBid. You can come up with your own. So you have a PrimeBid opportunity period on a property in our system in case you did not follow our announcement when a property is added to our system but needs to be closed quickly. It is offered as a PrimeBid opportunity. This means each private lender in our system has a private preview commit period for this property. There is a hard deadline, and then I give property details. And this link right here is a direct link to where it is on the website. You could have a G Drive link where you have the pictures and all that. And then property report. Your hard deadline, I tell them the hard deadline, but here's another thing I add. If you can either reply back by that deadline or you can reply pass now and we'll offer it to the next lender. What this does is, let's say whatever reason I wasn't aware that the person funds are tied up, he'll just say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have the funds right now, so I'd like to pass. So you don't even have to wait 24 hours. They'll let you know right away. So this is how that works. So like I said, I've actually did a separate video where I showed you exactly step by step how I create the PrimeBid. So you can watch that video because I can't show you while I'm teaching this and that. So I did this video as well. So that'll be an additional video for that. All right. Now in the onboarding process, so I showed you the onboarding process and how to get your PML engaged. Again, I already explained you don't necessarily need the portal part, but I just wanted to share with you how I do it. You just need to have whatever process you want, very streamlined and easy, that it works for you, right? If you're not into, oh, my portal is too much, I'll just get a G Drive, I'll just put a folder up there, I just send them a link. But I need to be able to do it very quickly. Create templates in Gmail allows you to create templates so you can reuse them over and over again, so you don't have to. I have templates for everything, right? So you can do that. All right.